Good afternoon. I'm Chief Meteorologist Jason Smith with an update on what's happening with our local rivers. We saw some pretty amazing flooding. This is not the biggest flood event we've had in the last 25 years, but it was a doozy locally in Baldwin County. And we had a really bad flood event back a little more than 10 years ago, a historic flood in Baldwin County, and this did not eclipse those numbers. But to get 12 to 14 inches of rainfall in really less than 12 hours is an amazing amount of rain. So let's take a look at what's happening here with some of our maps on Next Weather here today. And I should have a little split screen here. And we'll get that going. And this, first I want to start out, I'll bring it up full so you can see it a little better. This is the visible satellite picture. This is a cool shot. This is the way it looks if you were looking down at the Earth from space, from the International Space Station or from one of the satellites. And it is what would be if you took a picture of the Earth with an actual camera. That the clouds that it's picking up are the actual clouds. So it's not sensing cloud top temperature. It's not an infrared loop. We use the infrared a lot because we can see clouds at night, and it's great. We can colorize the cloud tops, but the definition of the visible satellite picture is always a neat thing to me. And what we see right now is a few things going on. We have some cloud cover, and I'll see if I can do a little zooming in up into the inland spots. Look at these little small cumulus clouds up here. You can see it just up into Clark County and Washington County. These are fair weather cumulus, and we're getting some heating of the day going on, and that's creating enough instability that it's lifting these clouds up off the ground. And taking a look further out into the Gulf, let's see if I can pan out a little bit further out in the Gulf. We're getting some of that cold air advection, so it's bringing cooler air over some warmer waters in the Gulf and picking up a little moisture, but not seeing anything significant really going on. And most of the region is quiet. Most of the southeast United States, with the exception of South Florida, looking good. So this bodes well for our area as we head into the forecast, because we got a deep layer dry air mass in place, and when that happens, a lot of times you don't see rain for a number of days. All right, so that's your visible satellite shot more on the local scale. You can see those small cumulus clouds. This is the water vapor loop. Another cool satellite shot, not one I use on TV a lot. It shows us the amount of available moisture in the mid and upper levels of the atmosphere. And when you get into that brown stuff right there, that is really dry air. And so it's not just dry at the surface. I mean, you can tell that by walking outside, and at ground level, you know, the air is really dry, obviously, but it's also dry in the mid and upper levels of the atmosphere. So that's another really good sign for days ahead that we're going to get some dry weather. We need it because the rivers are still up, but they're starting to drop. And so the Styx River crested this morning at around 21 feet. And we do expect a sharp fall to that, already starting to fall a little bit, and we expect this river to continue to drop. If we check the Fish River at Silver Hill, Fish River is also on its way down. So we're seeing these river levels starting to crest and beginning to fall, and we should start to get better conditions to get these rivers back in their banks in Baldwin County. Perdido River also beginning to crest and fall. The rainfall outlook is exceptionally dry even into next week. So we don't see rain in the next 7 days, and then we go even beyond that and go out 10 days. It looks like abnormally dry weather, which is great. We're going to have an offshore flow through Wednesday and into Thursday, and no sign of any rain showing up. The models bring a little system by on Friday that may kick off some clouds, but I don't think we'll see much in the way of measurable rain in our area. And then the dry air builds back in by Friday afternoon, and could be slightly cooler on Saturday, but it remains dry, and you get the idea. We're going to stay dry for a while, and that should help with the conditions with the rivers and some of the cleanup from the localized flooding that we saw. If we go out 10 days, we are rain-free through Friday of next week. Our temperatures are getting up into the upper 70s to low 80s, and this is important because when we get a lot of rain in January or February, it's hard for the moisture to evaporate because we don't have the warmer temperatures, but we should have a really good evaporation rate going on The trees are starting to bud out, which is drawing moisture out of the ground through their root systems, and the same thing for the grasses. And so that's important too. It helps the saturated soil situation. We've got the photosynthetic process going on, and that draws the moisture up out of the ground through the root systems of the plants, and then it transpires the moisture back out into the air, and it gets the moisture out of the ground. And that can affect rivers, because groundwater can end up in the rivers seeping through the water table. And then we also are having the drier conditions, which should help some with the sogginess in the area. And it's not as hot as it would be in the summertime, but relative humidity is going to be super low, cool mornings, great weather ahead over the next 10 days. So just wanted to update you a little bit on where we stand a couple of days after the flooding in our area. Still some cleanup, but it looks like most of the rivers and streams are on the way back down, and things are starting to improve. I'll have complete coverage on Fox 10 News tonight at 4, 5, and 9 p.m. See you then.